May 16, 2008, Ursula left the U.S. to visit Sabina, who lived with her family in Ireland. In the early morning hours, Sabina and her sister secretly leave the house. During that same morning of May 17th, after traveling from Ireland to Liverpool, they boarded a bus headed to London. The driver became suspicious of their strange behavior and the way they guarded their bags. When asked to perform a bag check, they refused, so they weren't allowed back on the bus. Police were called, and because the sisters appeared harmless, the officers left. Shortly afterward, they walked directly onto the M6 motorway, crossing 3 lanes of traffic toward the central median. Sabina was clipped by a car, knocked to the pavement, stood up, and continued on her path. Officers responded to the scene and coincidentally were being followed by a camera crew recording an episode of Motorway Cops, so what happened next was captured on camera. Without warning, Ursula ran directly into traffic and was hit by a semi-truck. The impact knocked her back and her legs were crushed under the truck's wheels. Seconds later, Sabina followed her and was knocked unconscious after being hit by a car head-on. Paramedics responded to the scene. Ursula began clawing and screaming at them, exclaiming that they are not real. Sabina came to. She jumped up, punched an officer in the face, and broke free.
Her strength was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
She was finally restrained, arrested, and sedated. She surprisingly only suffered minor injuries. Ursula was airlifted to a hospital for hers. Once separated, Sabina seemed almost completely different. After a psychiatric assessment, medical professionals decided she didn't need to be admitted for further psychiatric treatment. That evening of May 19th, while wandering the streets, Sabina crossed paths with 54-year-old Glenn Hollinshead, who was out walking his dog. Glenn offered her shelter at his home. The following evening, he stumbles outside, asks his neighbor for help while holding his stomach and leaking heavily from multiple sharp force injuries to his torso. His life ends after he collapses in the driveway. Sabina flees. She's later seen on the street repeatedly hitting herself in the head with a hammer. When approached by emergency services, she jumps from a 40-foot bridge and survives fracturing her skull and breaking both ankles. Psychiatrists tried to explain how 2 seemingly normal sisters could suddenly behave as though they were trapped inside the same delusion. One explanation suggested in Sabina's case was folie à deux, French for a madness of 2. The defense argued that Ursula may have been the primary sufferer and Sabina was pulled into her delusional reality. In 2009, Sabina pled guilty to manslaughter with diminished responsibility and was sentenced to 5 years for taking the life of Glenn Hollinshead. She was released in 2011. Where they are now is widely unknown.